Welcome to the Utah Street Banter Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode here on the Utah Street Banter. I'm Cody, like always. With me here is Elijah. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Doing good. Orioles had a day off today, so we didn't have to really worry about making sure we did the podcast and watch that game.
Yeah.
Today, so that's good. How's everything going with you? Final start this week, right?
Yeah, final start Wednesday. I don't have any till Thursday, though, so just trying to figure out how to pack up my entire life, basically, and put it in my car right now.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah, didn't your parents have a rule that you could only take anything that fit in the car?
Oh, it fits in the car. It's just like it's like Tetris, basically.
Because like you see some people when they go to college, they have like a U-Haul truck or something.
Oh no, I don't need that.
Not you.
No. The only thing that I could do that would maybe be helpful is like have those little tiny trailers, not like the trailers, but just the things that go into the hitch that are just like a foot long. I would say that would be nice because a friend of mine I have a Ford Explorer. That's the old car, Ford Escape, and a friend of mine has an Escape and has one of those. And I would say that'd be helpful for me, maybe just to put a couple toes in the back, but the hitch is kind of stuck in the Escape.
Oh,
like it's rusted in there pretty good, so I'm kind of stuck with what I got. But if I could get it up here, that means I should be able to get it back. We're hoping.
yeah.
The problem is I'm starting to realize that I went to the game this past Thursday and dropped some stuff off to my parents when I was there, and I'm slowly starting to realize that I gave them stuff that I should have kept. Like yesterday, it rained, and apparently I gave them my rain jacket, so that kind of sucked.
Right.
And then like today, someone asked me to play catch, and apparently I gave my glove to them too. So I'm like just kind of figuring out what I need basically. But
Yeah,
I think that's it. I should, as long as it doesn't rain anymore.
yeah, I feel you. I mean, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Hey, at least you had a friend to play catch with. Sometimes we wonder about you, whether you have friends or not.
Yeah, I do. I do have friends. I have multiple.
Yeah, that's good. All right, well, let's get started here.
At least I didn't have to have kids to make friends.
All right, well, this guy's dad real fast. I'm just kidding. That's awesome. That's good. That was good. All right, well, let's get started here. We've had one heck of a time since the last time we spoke, which was last week. Since then, the Orioles have went 6-1. Wow, what an amazing time. We kind of were talking a little bit last time about our pitching and our bullpen and how they've had their struggles. And I guess like same thing like Cole Irvin did to me. I think our whole pitching and bullpen hurt us.
Yeah.
And they're just
except for Craig Kimbrell.
Except for Craig Kimbrell, yes. But we'll get into that a little later. Let's go off of our let's get into our box scores really quick. The last Tuesday, the Orioles played the Yankees, and we took that game. Starter was Dean Kramer, and he did awesome. Really love to see that. And we beat Nasty Nestor Cortez. One interesting thing in this game was Jacob Webb came in for the save.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people on social media saying that they want him to be the new closer after Kimbrell's struggles, but I think we'll be fine. Tyler Wells would be a great closer when he comes back from injury, personally. But yeah, so Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, and James McCann all brought in runs here. Dean Kramer really was the highlight, though. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, only gave up 2 runs. Both of those were home runs, but he had 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. So it was real dominant from him, but someone kind of thought that it wasn't as dominant, and that somebody was Juan Soto. Would you like to add anything about that real quick?
Yeah, Juan Soto, man. I just don't understand. So you're picking a battle with Dean Kramer, who number one is he controlled your whole team the whole game. Number 2 is he doesn't say anything ever, not even to the media or anybody. I don't know if I've ever seen an expression on his face before, and that's the guy that you pick on. Yeah. So I mean, and it didn't even bring your team back into the game. So yeah, I was a little confused about that. Good.
That's kind of my thing. Is he's saying in the press game, like his press conference after the game, that Kramer apparently didn't like the shuffle or whatever his reason was. And he was like, oh yeah, no, he didn't really like that home run either. You're saying this after you already lost.
Yeah.
If you had won the game, go ahead and talk about whatever you want to win, because you guys won. you lost, and it wasn't a pretty loss. Like it wasn't a hard fought battle really. You guys kind of lost the whole game entirely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I think it's kind of showing you who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he kind of got lost in Washington and lost in San Diego. Now he's on a big team, so he's trying to really be somebody. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, he's a really good hitter. But I mean, it's also, if you watch the series, it also showed how bad the Yankees defense was, and you know we're just going on him anytime we could. So. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I think he's one of the best hitters in baseball? Absolutely. I'm not going to diss on him. I just think he, you know what? Another thing I want to say real quick is I still also have to remember with him, especially, is he's still very young. So hopefully he matures. Because I mean, I'm an Orioles fan, and we both have Machado jerseys. But Machado used to say some stuff.
That's true.
Dude,
That is true.
just be quiet, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now you don't hear Machado say anything. You know what I mean? Like, now he's mature
maybe with age.
You know, and he's also younger than Rutschman. You know what I mean? And
I mean, he debuted at 19, I think. Like, he's been he's been around forever, but he also was my age when he first came around. So it's like,
right,
he's still maturing, and I don't know. But I heard someone, some other Orioles podcaster, Connor Newcomb, actually, I think put it perfectly. It's that he loves Juan Soto. I love Juan Soto too. But why does, as soon as players put on the pinstripes, just have to become insufferable?
Yeah,
it's almost that they put him on and like something changes.
Yeah,
because even like he didn't say anything like that in Washington or San Diego.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's only one Yankee. Well, there's a few Yankee players. I've got two in mind that never ever said anything, and it's because they were the best of all time. I mean, Derek Jeter never talked. He didn't have to say anything, and Mariano Rivera never had to say anything.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're good, even Aaron Judge, I don't have any problem with him. You know what I mean? Certain players, when people are really, really great, they don't need to tell you they're great. You know what I mean? So that's how you know when people are seriously are really confident. Moving on to the next game. This one's not so great. We had Corbin Burns on the mound, and the Yankees had Luis Gil. Luis Gil's fastball was on point this game, and we just could not get much on him. The only problem I had here was, boy, it sucks losing Corbin Burns' start, because obviously we didn't know at this moment that we're getting ready to go on a great run. But when you lose a Corbin Burns start, it kind of feels like that's one we should have had. If that makes sense to you?
Yeah, it really sucks because, I mean, you look at this, we lost 2-0. It's the only game of the week that we lost, of the past two series that we lost. And it really sucks that you beat yourselves more than anything. I mean, one hit that was barely a home run hit the bottom of the foul pole and got trapped inside. It had to be reviewed. That's the only runs for this whole game. Burns did excellent again. Through 6 innings, only gave up 4 hits. Like, that's nothing. But the real glaring issue is we had 3 hits the whole game. Yeah. You can't really do anything. Or if you're in situations to do something, you have to be able to take advantage of it. And I know I'm not going to act like Luis Gil's nobody, but he's also not. He's not like a Garrett Cole,
right?
And I know their bullpen's good, but like the next game we destroyed them. So why can't I don't like the consistency that we have. There's a lot of times where we'll go 3 games in a row where we score 8 runs, and then we'll kind of have a week like this where even though we won a lot, we still didn't score a lot of runs.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to talk about you don't like the inconsistency. Imagine being the Yankees and they go and just destroy the Brewers, and then they come to Baltimore and just have a really hard time scoring. The one game they win. Better. Oh my gosh, the one game they win, they only scored 2. Well, moving on to the next game, they had Carlos Rodon, and we had our man Kyle Bradish back on the hill. I could not believe, and still have a hard time believing that he's back, and it's only, and it was April, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Like when this all happened, remember we were talking about All-Star break, or maybe the whole year, and yeah. But jumping into it really quick though, before I geek out too much, Carlos Rodon, he's been pretty decent this year, and the Orioles just tacked on some runs. You were at the game, so yeah. I'm gonna let you attack this.
Yeah, so I'll try to I'll talk about more of the offense first, save some of the Bradish stuff, and it was a really it was a really interesting day because there was a lot of times where the offense left me frustrated. I mean, first inning didn't really have much happening, but we had it's either the second or third inning, bases loaded, no outs, and scored nothing from it. And I know you look at the end result, oh, we won 7-2. That's still, you got to capitalize on that because you don't know if you're going to have those chances in the end. And I will say it was a homerful day. Mountcastle crushed the ball in the center field. Mateo hit one of the farthest balls I've ever seen hit into left field at Camden Yards. Crushed it like probably 8 rows back over the great monster of Camden Yards. It was a bomb. And then I will say McKenna also homered, and he barely snuck that thing out over center field. But it was interesting. I think Mateo and McKenna must have heard me talking bad about them because I was disappointed driving into the game, seeing the the lineup for the day got announced, and Mateo, McKenna, and James McCann were all starting. But they kind of made it up to me, I guess. And our bullpen looked really good. Aiken gave up a home run to Gleyber Torres, but he's destroyed us in the past. I remember, I think it was 2021 where he hit like 12 home runs off of, like, half his home runs on the year were just against us. It was terrible. But Westberg had a really nice triple into the gap in the 5th inning. Just really all around great day offensively. Had a couple big innings. But I think the main story to take away for you is Bradish.
Yeah.
He did good, 4.2 innings, gave up a run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. I think really his main flaw was the umpire. The umpire was struggling, and I thought I was lucky because Stevie Bucknor is another umpire. He was on the crew. He's the crew chief. He was third base that Dick Seed called the first game of the series, which he's notoriously bad. I don't want to just call an umpire bad, but he's pretty bad. But I don't even know who's behind the plate, but it was just bad. Both sides were mad at it. I mean, the Yankees hitting coach got thrown out because of some calls. It wasn't even that the zone was bad. There definitely were bad calls. It was the inconsistency of calls.
Right.
There's one pitch you'd see get called a ball, and then it'd be thrown right again and get called a strike. And this wasn't just for the Orioles. This was for the Yankees too. It was frustrating to see. People were getting struck out on balls that shouldn't have got struck out on, but it was vice versa. I don't know. But Bradish, he to come back this soon is really a good sign because in my mind, I don't think he'd be back if he wasn't 100% at all. This is an injury you can't risk anything with. So I think he's back to stay. I don't think we're going to see this elbow injury pop up unless it's like down the road and he actually does need Tommy John.
Yeah. Nah, man, he was awesome. It was super exciting to see him. I was so excited. I'm excited to have him for the future. I know we're going to get talking about some rotation stuff later, but boy, I love having these problems right now,
Yeah.
So we finally got the Yankees out of town, and we also left and went to Cincinnati for the next 3 games, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday series, where we went 3-0 and we outscored them 16-2. But most of those runs came on Sunday, thank God. So let's talk about Friday. The Orioles come in, and your boy Cole Irvin got the start on the mound. Orioles win this game 3-0, and we also had a Kimbrel save, which that was great. So
last one on the weekend.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was a really good game. Cole Irvin is actually. I'll let you guys on some insider information. Cody's texted me after this game how much he hates me basically because I'm always right. And he was texting me how maybe admitting that I might have been right about this Cole Irvin being good this year. Was I too far when comparing him to the next Randy Johnson? Maybe, but we'll see. He's left-handed and he's doing amazing. So who knows? He threw 6 1/3, gave up 2 hits, struck out 4. Nothing. You can't ask for more. He's supposed to be our number 5 pitcher,
and number 7.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Really, if it's the way the Orioles want it, Cole Irvin should be in the bullpen.
Yeah.
But he's acting like an ace at this point. He's gone 3 scoreless starts. I think you have a stat to back that up, too.
Yeah, it's something really cool. So scoreless starts of 6 innings pitched or more. Cole Irvin now has 3, in a row. This is the most consecutive since 1954. For the Orioles, yes. So, I'm sorry. So, it's not since 1954. It's the stat started in 1954, okay?
Well, that's when the Orioles started.
Yeah. So, number 1 is Jim Palmer. He has 4. And then Tom Phoebus, he has 4. and then your boy Cole Irvin is sitting there with 3. That's a crazy stat right there.
Yeah.
No lie, if he goes one more consecutive start, he ties the record with Jim Palmer.
Yeah, and I think it's always good to be having a stat that it's just kind of you, maybe someone else, and Jim Palmer. That's a pretty good guy to compare yourself to.
Meanwhile, last year you were a starter at Norfolk Tide because you couldn't do well enough to stay up in the rotation.
Didn't even make the playoff roster.
No.
But yeah, he did really good. Our bullpen did great. Cano, Coulomb, and Kimbrel all shut down the rest of the lineup after Irvin came out. Kimbrel struck out the side in the 9th to get the save, which is weird because he didn't do that the next day.
No, he looked good.
We had 9 hits, which was weird because we only scored 3 runs. You're like, wow, they didn't pan to anything. They all were spread out. The Reds did really good, I would say, pitching this game. Even though they had 9 hits, they were all spread out pretty evenly. But the real damage was done when Rutschman had an RBI double and then O'Hearn homered to bring him in. I don't know. It's just a great game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And then Saturday, we had some more amazing news. So obviously, we had Bradish pitch earlier in the week, and then John Means comes back. John Means really struggled and most of his Norfolk Tide outings, except for his last one, but really struggled. He comes out, pitches 7 innings, gives up 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, no runs. Could not have done better. And, I know you're going to go through the stats, but let me just go through my mental capacity here. So I'm watching this game. John Means is crushing it. And then Perez comes in, does amazing, Perez. And then Kimbrel comes in, and I'm like, what the crap? Because I say this because the last time Kimbrel came in consecutively, it was terrible. And now he hurt himself in quotation marks. And then he pitches the day before. Then he comes out and pitches this game, and he looks just like he did before we sat him down for a week. I mean, to say that we need to just know that our 38-year-old or however old he is, relief pitcher, can't do back-to-back days. He cannot. Okay? Yeah. So it is what it is. And if we need him every 3rd day, we're going to have to just take it right now.
I don't know why Webb didn't come in this situation. They already gave him a safe situation earlier in the week against the Yankees, and he didn't pitch the day before. So it's really strange. I know it's a 2-0 game, especially if you have, which obviously Cano is the one who came in to eventually get the save. If they had him available, I don't know why they didn't just go to him. Yeah, I think it's at the point Kimbrel's too old to pitch back-to-back days.
It had me really questioning Hyde there, and I usually try not to. But, I mean, I thought everybody on God's green earth knew that Kimbrel can't come in back-to-back days. I thought this was a thing. I thought we were just getting used to this. And he did exactly what I thought. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Then, Cano comes in, walks the first batter, because that's what Cano does. He comes in a tight spot like that. Cano's really good starting an inning. And he's good. Yeah. He's good coming in during an inning, but he's not great. He's not Cano
when he comes in.
Yeah, he's not Cano, and it takes him a few minutes to kind of figure out his release point. But it is what it is. I mean, we got the win. But Means, what a time, dude. What a time.
Yeah, and Rutschman, he did really good. He went 3 for 4 with a home run, and then Mateo also homered. And I don't know if anybody's keeping track of that at home, but that's Mateo's 2nd homer on the week. He hadn't homered since May of 2023 before the one against the Yankees.
Wow. Yeah. Almost a year to the day, huh?
Because this is my problem. He's doing good so far, and I'm hoping not, but he's notoriously an April and May hitter. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this month with him, and then we'll see what happens when June comes.
Yeah, and it's not like one of those things. So I've heard some other people talk about like him getting hot and we should trade him. I think he's one of the guys that I would love to keep as a utility. Because I love his speed. I love his a little bit of pop, but he plays center, short, second. I'm sure he plays third. I'm sure he can play left. I mean,
he can play everywhere but first catcher and pitcher, basically.
Yeah. So let's keep a hold of that. He has too many skills.
Like if it was to come down between him and Arias, I'd say goodbye Arias in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Moving on to Sunday, we decided to hit the ball because I don't know if anybody else has did your tally, but we only scored 5 runs in the first 2 games, so we knew it was coming. Orioles end up winning this game on Sunday, 11-1. Dean Kremer comes out, kills it again. Those 6 innings, 1 hit ball, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, no runs, no earned. Pretty cool, pretty awesome. And then we got to see my man Albert Suarez come in. He pitched 2 in a piece. Did great, didn't give up a hit. So Bauman came in, did Bauman's thing where he gave up, a run, got bases loaded, tried to just make it as interesting as an 11-0 game was, and let them get 1 run. But Orioles bats, man, that's all this was about. Amazing.
Yeah, it was great. And like you said, Kramer, he only gave up 1 hit and 1 walk, but he was actually perfect through 4 1/3.
Yeah,
which is crazy. It's crazy to think that it was also the 3-year anniversary of John Means' no-hitter.
Oh wow.
So that's why they kept on talking about that and how he's perfect. I was like, if he could throw a no-hitter on the anniversary, that'd be something.
That would be.
But alas, Christian Encarnacion Strand got a hit, who's actually has the worst on base percentage in baseball. But yes, that's of course that's who we give up a hit to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did great. Suarez did really good out of the bullpen. They eventually brought in Bauman to try to close out the 9th, but he gave up a run. But it didn't matter because it cut the lead from 11-10. Westberg had a nice 2-run home run in the 1st. Adley had a nice double in the 5th. McKenna, he had another home run this week. Adley had another RBI. Cowser had a double. Tony had a grand slam. It was kind of just coming from every direction.
Yeah.
Adley had an amazing series. He's finally starting to connect from both sides of the plate. He's been really struggling from that left side, but I think maybe he broke through after these 2 games here.
Yeah, so couple things there. Santander, he really needed a game like he had. He had 5 RBIs. That grand slam helped a lot, obviously. But really good, really fun to see him. Another guy that I want to really quick talk about is Ryan McKenna. He's the closest thing to I can't think of his name. Back when Adam Jones was there, who's the guy? He's like the Padres batting coach or something now.
Flaherty? No,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
He's the closest to Ryan Flaherty. Because you like Ryan Flaherty for some reason.
Absolutely,
but he was terrible.
Not.
Ryan Flaherty
has a special place in my heart, and he should have every Orioles fan's heart.
No.
Ryan McKenna is Nolan Reimold.
Ha! Oh, that's good. Dude, who's Ryan Flaherty?
Ryan Flaherty? We don't have Ryan Flaherty.
No, because he's a Double-A. He's on the Louis Sox, right?
If Mateo was slower, that's Ryan Flaherty. If Mateo was slower.
No. Oh my God. You're fine.
No.
But anyway, hold on. Let
maybe
me
Ramon Arias? I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's better. All right, but anyway, Ryan McKenna, I really hated that we brought him up. That's when we sent Jackson Holliday down. But now, I mean, you had Jackson Holliday who had 2 hits while he was there, not doing much, and everybody was praising his defense. McKenna's defense is pretty good also. I know it's in the outfield though. But he has 2 bombs. He's getting some RBIs. It's one of those things where, well, he has 2 bombs, 2 RBIs. But I get it now. You look at the man. You look at our front office, and everybody's like, well, the Orioles are still winning, and Hollidays has good defense, and they bring somebody up who's hitting and producing at the big league level. So I get it. Yeah, he's one of those guys that are just like, just people aren't really talking about, right? So between McKenna and a few other guys, right? You got any guys that you want to try to get their names out there?
Yeah, so we've had, not just over this past series, but over the whole season, a couple different guys who I don't want to say are overlooked sometimes. They just, I don't know, maybe don't get the national attention or even sometimes the attention of Orioles fans that guys like Gunnar or Adley do on offense. And it's just, one of them I'm a huge advocate for. He's potentially the best player in the Orioles right now when he plays, is Ryan O'Hearn. Mm-hmm. He is crushing it when he's starting. He in 75 at-bats, he has 5 home runs and a 307 average. He has a 381 OBP, 573 slug, and a 177 OPS plus. And 2 episodes ago, I kind of did a deep dive onto some more complex stats, and Ryan O'Hearn was one of the guys I really focused on because he had high expected stats and a lot of different stuff, and he still basically leads the league in everything expected. So he's getting unlucky and still has a 307 batting average, which is just insane to think about.
Absolutely.
Another guy who is probably the more notable one on here is Mountcastle. I just feel like he's just not as flashy as the rest. And you think of power on the team, you think of Santander, but Mountcastle has been killing it this season. He's got in 121 at bats, 5 home runs, 289 batting average, a 338 on base percentage, 488 slug, and a 140 OPS plus. And he's also kind of killing it in the expected department because he's about 75 percentile or above for almost every expected at bat stat. So he's also getting unlucky and doing this good. And then here we mentioned him earlier, but I really like this guy, Jorge Mateo. He has not played nearly as much, only got 53 at bats. He's got 2 home runs, which both came this past week. He's only batting at 245, but he's got a 305 on base percentage, a 472 slug, and a 125 OPS plus. So he's just being a really solid above average hitter. And this is what I mainly like about him. The 98th percentile speed.
Yeah, he's fast.
He can kill you with his speed, and he can play everywhere. So he's just a really great guy that I feel like is kind of not thought of when you think of the Orioles.
Yeah, I mean, one cool thing to kind of talk about real fast, you were talking about Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle, the two Ryans. So both have 5 home runs on the season. And just going off what you were saying about Ryan O'Hearn here, Mountcastle has 121 at bats, okay, with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. 5 home runs, 16 RBIs at 121. Ryan O'Hearn has also 5 home runs with 11 RBIs, so just 4 short of Mountcastle, 75 at bats. That's pretty incredible with the vast difference of at bats that Ryan O'Hearn is getting, but he is producing when he gets the chance, and only 7 strikeouts, which is incredible out of those 75. So really good eye. I mean, really good handball skills, but it just, man, it really impresses me, and it's really helping our whole offense kind of do big things with this season.
Yeah, I think really the only reason he even has less at bats is they kind of hide him from lefties.
Yeah,
which I don't hate because I don't think he's going to be nearly as productive against lefties. And they kind of try to hide all of our lefties. Like Cedric doesn't play against lefties anymore. That's what McKenna's been getting so much playing time because we've seen so many lefty starters. The only full-time lefty that's normally getting at bats against lefty starters is Gunnar because you're not going to bench Gunnar.
Yeah, and he's hitting bombs off lefties. So
yeah, exactly. But no, I feel like it might be a reach, but is O'Hearn a Freddie Freeman type first baseman? Because he's not really got that power, but he's kind of got all the similar stats, really driving the ball into the gaps. I don't want to act like he's going to be Freddie Freeman, but he's really good.
Yeah. Talk about lefties. Who has the? Do you know who has the best average against lefties on the team right now? Just take a guess.
It's gonna be someone who's no one's gonna expect. Is it Jorge Mateo?
No, it's Adley Rutschman. I know he's been doing, but
he's been doing really good from the right out.
But 482.
482. Goodness.
I mean that's 56 at bats too.
Yeah, I know he had
7 hits.
He had an RBI double on Sunday against the Reds, and he crushed the ball. Ben McDonald was actually talking about that. It was really interesting. He said how it's almost like he's getting so comfortable and he's so good at the plate where he just knows what pitch is coming to him. He can guess it, and he's guessing correctly, and he just rocketed a fastball. That was it was almost too hard into the outfield for it to be a double.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason I pulled that up was I was kind of looking at Gunnar Henderson's lefty splits.
Yeah,
I mean Gunnar has 10 home runs on the year. He has 3 against lefties. He has a 296 average against lefties, which is good for Gunnar. I mean, somebody that the Orioles they would hide from. They had him hiding from lefties last year. So pretty good.
But yeah, no, and our team as a whole has been doing really good offensively because I don't know if you've been paying attention to record-wise, but we're the best team in the American League right now. We have the second best record in all of baseball too, only behind the Phillies. But that's just because they play more games than us. So yeah, we're doing really well. And the one stat that I love to see, and it just reminds me of the good old days, is we're leading the MLB in home runs with 54.
Right.
And we're also third in RBIs, which you would say is pretty important, saying that you need to score runs. Only behind the Padres and Dodgers, both who have played 2 to 4 more games than us. We're second to last in walks, which sucks. We are not walking this year. This team's really starting to remind me of Buck Showalter era. No walks. We're not striking out, luckily. Well, we are, but not like insanely. But we're no walks, home runs. But I think that's just because we have so much talent that it's better to put the ball in play than walk.
Yeah, I agree.
We're 11th in steals, which you say, hey, that's not too bad. But we're also 5th to last in caught steals. So that means we're really not getting caught steal. And even when we are, like, I think it was yesterday, Jordan Westberg got caught stealing, but he really basically got picked off. It's just counted as a caught steal.
That was one of my big issues last year. I'm sure you can go and look at this later, but we were ranked like almost, it was like 28th in stolen bases, like on stolen base attempts. But it kind of annoyed me that we weren't attacking. Whereas this year it's totally different. It seems like our young guys have kind of learned how to get better reads and take better chances. To get in scoring position.
No, I definitely agree. And we're then just some other offensive stats. We're 8th in batting average, 17th in OBP, 2nd in slug, and then 2nd in OPS. So we're just kind of not crushing on certain aspects, but we're good enough all around for it to be good. But really, the outstanding part of our team lately has been our rotation.
Our starting pitchers have been good.
So tell me about it. And not even so. I'll just throw you some stats. This is not just our rotation. This is also counting our bullpen. Who are saying, well, our bullpen's not been great. Well, counting our entire pitching staff, we have the 6th best ERA in baseball with a 3.31. We've given up the 3rd least hits with 3.51, which I don't think that number really means anything, but it's the 3rd least in baseball. We've given up the 5th least earned runs. We've given up the least amount of walks. We're 13th in strikeouts. We have the 2nd lowest whip with 1.09, and we have the 6th best batting average against. So we're killing it on every single aspect, basically. We're just not striking out a lot, but it doesn't matter if you strike them out if you're getting outs, really.
You know how the Orioles pitching is doing well. I was watching the Orioles post game last night, or yesterday. Sorry. Guess who they interviewed?
Dean Kramer.
No, the Orioles pitching coach. When's the last time you see the
Drew French?
It was the last time you saw the pitching coach at the post-game interview.
Okay, here, Cody, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What? So Drew French is our pitching coach.
Yeah.
What was his previous job before coming to the Orioles?
Oh God, man, what's it?
He was the Braves bullpen coach.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
really.
So we got him from the Braves. Okay, how about this? This should be an easier one. What was Brandon Hyde's most recent job before coaching the Orioles?
Oh, well, he was the bench coach for the Chicago Cubs.
There you go. I figured he'd let you get a win.
Which was pretty cool because I actually saw an interview with that's terrible. The Yankees first baseman,
Anthony Rizzo.
Because he was when Anthony Rizzo was on the Cubs, Hyde was actually the first base coach. And pretty neat to kind of see that. He was just talking about how great Hyde is as a coach and how respected he is around baseball. So that was pretty cool. But you're right, dude. I mean, this starting pitching, holy crap. I don't care how much you love the Orioles because I love them just as much as everybody else does. And I don't care how optimistic you are about the Orioles. When Kyle Bradish and John Means went out, there is not one person that said, oh, it's going to be hard to put them back in the rotation because the Orioles going to be doing so good that you're going to have somebody go out on injury, in quotation marks, which is Grayson Rodriguez, just to get one of them in the rotation. It was just it was crazy.
It's crazy because I was explaining this to a friend while I was trying to make this up, figure out what I was going to talk about for our pictures for the podcast. And he knows nothing about baseball. And I was basically like, so you have 5 people that are supposed to be in the rotation. Imagine at the beginning of the year, 2 of these 5 get hurt. And then a month and a half later, you don't know where they're going to pitch.
Yeah.
Like we have someone like Cole Irvin, who, like you said, should be almost a minor league pitcher, who is pitching like an ace. I mean, Corbin Burns has a 2.61 ERA. Grayson Rodriguez, who just went down with quote-unquote soreness, has a 3.71 ERA. Dean Kramer has a 3.57 ERA. Cole Irvin has a 2.86 ERA. And then I'm not even going to talk about Bradish and Means because they pitched one game. But Suarez has done great. I mean, Wells was struggling before he went on the injury, but we have, what is it, seven starters? Burns, Bradish, Kramer, Means, Irvin, Suarez, G-Rod, and Wells. Like we have so many people. What are we gonna do as the Orioles? Well, I know. I'll say how I think it's gonna shape up, and then you can give your piece. Okay.
All right, well, let me know.
So I think Burns. That's a shoo-in. He's gonna be in the rotation. I think Brad.
You think he's gonna make it?
I don't know. They might move him to long relief. I'm not sure. I think Burns. I think Burns is gonna be there. I think Bradish, as long as he's healthy, he's gonna be there, and I think Means is gonna be there as long as he's healthy. And I think the same for Kramer and the same for Irvin. But then you say, well, what do we do when Grayson gets healthy? Does someone go back to the Phantom IL? I don't know. We'll see. But I think for right now, we'll have Burns, Bradish, Kramer, Means, Irvin. Suarez has already been bumped to the bullpen, luckily. He did great in a long relief appearance on Sunday's game. And I think we'll see it just kind of stay like that. Yohan Ramirez was DFA'd and claimed by the Mets. I think that was today. And also, I just remembered, happy birthday. It was Yohan Ramirez's birthday when he got claimed by the Mets. But then we have G-Rod and Wells. What do we do with these two? When Grayson comes back, I think you may see a modified 6-man rotation. And I think it's kind of a battle between Irvin and Kramer.
Yeah.
Which sucks because, and I think the leg up goes to Kramer unless Irvin just doesn't give up any more runs, basically. Because if they keep pitching like they do, I think you have no choice but to do six-man rotation, which sucks. But then you also got to think, who gets sent down in this instance? I think you almost might see, if G-Rod gets called up, a Ryan McKenna get DFA'd, or not DFA'd, but like sent down, or Heston Kjerstad get sent down. I think we may roll with more pitchers than position players for a little bit. But when, say, a Wells comes up, he goes straight to the bullpen. And it sucks to say it, but I think the only man that can be gone, basically, is Mike Baumann. And he would be DFA'd, and he definitely will be claimed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and it sucks to say that, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So here's mine. So obviously Corbin's going to be there. Grayson, when he gets back, he'll be there. I think Heston Kjerstad should be sent down that way so he can play, because it's pretty pathetic what's happening with him right now. But I don't know the right answer. If I was him, I'd be kind of peeved. But so I think he gets sent down, or Baumann. I would much prefer Baumann be released or whatever has to happen, because I'm just so done. But I also think he's going to be good somewhere. I think he's going to go somewhere, and then he'll pitch against us and dominate. Just because
he'll go. Well, I mean, because I don't know how much you pay attention to like league awards, but the NL reliever of the month this past month was Reed Garrett, and he was an Oriole in 2023.
Of course he was. I think Grayson will take his spot. I think Tyler Wells goes into our bullpen when he gets off the IL. Hopefully he can be the Tyler Wells of old and dominate as a closer for us, maybe. I also think if we do a 6-man rotation, I think Cole Irvin needs to pitch his butt off, because they're just waiting for him to screw up. So it kind of sucks for him to have to pitch like that. But I also... I listened to an interview with Cole Irvin, and he's such a class act. And I feel like such a jerk that I'm getting ready to say this. But I feel like it's just a matter of time before he comes back to the Cole Irvin that we know.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
What did I tell you? I made the prediction at the beginning of the year that this was Cole Irvin's year.
I think you're wrong.
No, and you can think that, but what you're thinking is wrong. I think Cole Irvin will be a 2024 American League All-Star.
No way.
Our entire rotation is going to be an All-Star this year. I mean, okay. Look at this. Let's just say
that for one, that's impossible. They wouldn't let it happen.
Is a 2.86 ERA not All-Star worthy? Because how about this? What do you think the difference between Corbin Burns and Cole Irvin's ERA is? Do you think it's 0.2? Because that's wrong. That's too much. Or that's slight. That's around it. Cole Irvin has just a little bit of a higher ERA than Burns. And yeah, he's pitched a little bit less innings, but not insanely so. And he may get traded. I don't want to say that because I love him. I want him to stay. He's my guy. He's our lefty. He's my Swerve and Irvin. But I don't know.
I don't think we trade him. I don't think the Orioles can afford to trade any pitching. You know what I mean? I just think
you could see maybe an Albert Suarez trade.
Yeah, I like Albert Suarez too. Yeah, I tell you, you know what? So we talked about this. I'm trying not to get long on this podcast because, um, but one thing I will say that we talked about this way back at the beginning was who did we think was going to be, um, the guy that shocked us, the Cano of this year,
Yeah,
and there's a few of them. Albert Suarez is one of them. Cole Irvin is one of them.
not to me.
God, would you shut up?
No,
Yeah.
when I'm right, I'm gonna make sure it's known I was right.
Yeah,
Called it
I
from the
hear you.
beginning.
Yeah. Colton Cowser right now is one of them. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just certain guys. Like last year, we had some guys step up and just do amazing. Bautista, in my opinion, was one of those shocks. We thought he was good. We didn't think he was great, like great, best closer in baseball. Great.
Yeah.
Cano, obviously great, doing awesome. But just, man, so much fun. I love seeing just the guys that you had no idea who they were, or you know, or if you knew who they were, it wasn't a good thought. And they just come in, surprise you, do awesome. Another surprise, in my opinion, right now is I think our owner's cool. Like,
Yeah.
like what's going? I think he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's awesome.
I kind of love him. Maybe
He's
the
like
best
hit.
owner in baseball.
Isn't that what the kids are saying? Kids are saying they're hit.
I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know how many people are real active on Instagram following the Orioles, but they posted a video earlier today, and it was just David Rubenstein just standing there, taking off his hat and putting on some sunglasses and a bucket hat, grabbing his floaties, and he's going to be filling in for Mr. Splash on Friday, which I just think that's awesome. Just imagine how many billionaires are going to sit in left center field at Camden Yards and spray a whole bunch of $10 seat tickets.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not too many. Okay, name one time you saw John Angelos.
I don't think I ever actually. I'm sure he was there at some point, but I don't think I ever saw him.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever saw him because I think he kind of just hid. I know he was out and about the one time we had a Sunday night baseball appearance, and
Gotcha.
maybe that's just for good publicity. But yeah, I mean, I love seeing it. Cal Ripken's at the stadium almost every game.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
What-
you got David Rubenstein's in a new Instagram reel from the Orioles social media team every week. I love it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's so exciting.
The one thing I do like that's a new change that's I don't know who decided to do that, but I obviously just went to my first Orioles game of the year a couple days ago, and obviously everybody misses hearing all I do is win after we win. But something does feel right about Orioles magic playing after a win.
Yeah, that just started.
But and there's one thing that I would like to say to end this podcast that Cody may say I'm wrong, but it's Elisha's prediction to end the day. Everyone can go have a great day and think about this. Who's a team that's doing really good right now, but is about to just fall off a cliff? The Cleveland Guardians.
Do you think so?
Oh, 100%. They're not winning their division. They're going to be at best third place. And what does this mean? They just caught up a prospect, Kyle Manzardo. That has nothing to do with it. I just remember that. But so they're going to do bad. I'm just going to say that. They're not going to live up to this how they're playing right now. I mean, I think they just got swept by the Astros or something like that. But this is what I see happening. At the beginning of the year, it was kind of rumored that they're going to be shopping Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase. Well, Shane Bieber's hurt. So in Elisha's crystal ball, he foresees a Orioles trade with maybe a Cole Irvin, Dean Kramer type and some low prospect, some medium prospect, maybe like a Dylan Beavers for Emmanuel Clase.
Man, that would be something. But he needs to drop. Right now, I think the Orioles should just go out and get Tanner Scott with the Marlins just deciding to train.
I mean, the Marlins are they gave up fully on baseball.
Yeah.
They gave up once they fired Kim Ng.
And the reason I think Tanner Scott is he can do long relief. He can give you 2-3 innings.
Or he could be a closer.
And we need him. I mean,
that'd be great.
I really like him. I would be surprised with Cleveland. I think their divisions is so bad. With Kansas City, Minnesota, and Cleveland are the same team. And obviously I think they're gonna battle for that division the whole year.
I think I give it till about All-Star break.
Elijah,
I
all
can't-
you have
I-
to do to win the AL Central is finish one game above 500.
They're going to be under 5. They're going to be under 500 by the All-Star break. I'm feeling like an 8-game losing streak. When do they play the Orioles? That's when they'll start going downhill. We're going to ruin everything.
I hope not.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I hope so.
Look, I'm telling you, just remember, come trade deadline, just keep this in mind.
You think so? Yeah, I mean, hey, you could be right. I mean, it not gonna hurt my feelings none.
Yeah.
So real quick, let's jump. Look at the week ahead. Today we are going against the Washington Nationals. Corbin Burns is starting on the mound. And then we will go see the Arizona Diamondbacks come Friday. At the beginning of the year, I was really scared of this matchup, but right now, I welcome
they're
it.
kind of
Hopefully they
struggling.
stay. And then we face the worst team in the AL East next Monday when we come back on the air, and that will be against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, and I'll be at that series again. I'll be there that Wednesday, so I can check out that, luckily. But yeah, no, and if anybody's planning on buying tickets anytime soon, definitely go check out Mr. Ruben Splash at the game Friday.
Ruben Splash. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode here at the Utah Street Banter. Like always, if you would be so kind to give us a 5-star rating, and definitely jump on social media and follow the Utah Street Banter on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And definitely shoot us a message, shoot us a comment, whatever you got to do. If you have any questions or have a topic that you want us to hit on, definitely please reach out. But until then, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see ya. Bye.